Okay, I didn't know what this was. The goo is alive and made of combined souls. So I was looking into, let me just pull that picture up because I can probably find it pretty fast here. I was just looking into, I started to watch about 30 minutes of this video by this person who is a Christian. So they were giving a very Christian presentation to it, which I don't mind, except that he was missing a lot of stuff. Okay, I'm sharing this whole thing. That's not what I want to share. Sorry. I want to share just that picture. Let me pull it up. And he was getting into a lot of stuff, which was great, except everything he was getting into was something he saw somewhere else. So what he did was he watched all these videos, and then he tried to take what he learned on these people's videos and shove it into his religious beliefs and make them fit together. And it kind of annoyed the shit out of me, excuse my language, because so I was talking about Greater Earth 2, 3 years ago. I don't know when it was. And then people said, hey, you got to check this out. There's a Greater Earth guy. And so I went and watched his stuff. And there was one other channel talking about it. I was like, oh, cool. This is like kind of, we're all kind of verifying each other in different ways from different perspectives. Well, this is stuff that this guy believes in Crater Earth. And I was like, oh, cool. So I was kind of excited. I want to watch a little bit of it. But I recognized a lot of the footage where he's showing, God, what was it? Something. I think it's the moon. No, it was a star. And it was showing how the star was like blurry and blinking. And it's because it's underwater. And I'm like, I recognize this footage from somebody else's videos, which is totally fine, but you're not giving credit to anybody. It's like, he didn't watch any of my stuff. I highly doubt, but it just annoyed me. So anyway, this was on his, I was sharing the whole folder, which I'm going to go through with you, but I just wanted to show the one picture. This was in the video. It's out of the Bible. I don't know if this is his image he made, if he did great. Don't even remember his name. I don't think I care because the whole thing felt, at least the part I watched, the first third or to the first half looked copied, but I don't want to be calling people out. But anyway, this water above the firmament, we've talked about this. I've showed pictures that I found of the Egyptians, you know, and you had Newt, like the sky god or whatever, all these pictures, and then they're showing boats on top. And I did a video about it. I don't remember. But anyway, the goo up here, because I'm not saying this is necessarily how it looks, but I don't know where he got this from. But anyway, the goo is alive and made of combined souls, this plasma stuff. It's a thought pool of uploaded souls. I have no idea what that means. Possibly a special place in hell for souls, but so I got, you know, hell, we're in the hell realm, HEL, and then some of the people that sell their souls go to a special place in this realm. But anyway, this is a conglomeration of it's meshed together from souls that they have trapped here. And then it was making me think about like the other craters, and like one of them being Atlantis. I'd gone into that in depth in a video, and how I think they came in. I think it was underground. I forget what I was reading on it. And I think I was getting that they came underground to get here. Anyway, I do feel like the Atlanteans had to go through some water goo at some point to get to us because we're surrounded by it. And then this guy was showing in the video the clouds going behind the moon and behind the sun. And they were, again, stuff that he got from somewhere else. Which would make sense if the moon is a reflection, or if there's a reflection off a second dome, because I almost feel like there's a lot of these little pockets with domes over them. And then they got one big dome over all of us. That might make sense with some of these double rainbows that cut off halfway in the sky, and then there's a second one. Or I'm not a scientist, but why we're seeing the moon reflected back at us. Maybe it's the big dome ultimately. Maybe it's somewhere in between, the moon is up there and it's in between our dome and the big one. Who knows? But this is some big death goo soul chamber down here where they have us. A death goo soul or soul goo chamber where they put us. They put us down in hell, HEL. And we are called Hive Farms, like a beehive, Hive Farms. These are the bubbles or domes and there's goo around it. The goo can be likened to honey in like a beehive, in the comb, bee comb, honeycomb, whatever. So we're in bug world, with these hives, bug world. And wasn't there a cartoon called Bug World? I think there was. So then, I believe it's in that same video, Hillary is talking about, she's making some statement about the glass ceiling, and we haven't broke that glass ceiling yet. No, she keeps talking about this. And the public thinks she's talking about, oh, we haven't broke the glass ceiling of getting a woman as president. But the way she was saying it, it just made it sound like she was code. They always talk in code publicly. It was code for other stuff. And she said, but it's thanks to all of you, even though we haven't broken that ceiling, but thanks to all of you, we've made 1 billion cracks in it. And so she's talking about like the firmament glass ceiling, meaning they've spent our tax dollars to try to make cracks in the firmament. I've talked about that before. I think they're trying to break through it. And I tried to read, why are they doing that? I don't remember what I got before, but I think it was the same thing. So maybe if somebody saw an old video of mine, you could remember. But this is what I saw again, is they want to flood us out. They want to crack it open and let whatever that goo or water is in and cause the great flood again, which could be the reset, or maybe they just flood us out when we get too awakened. And it's probably what happened to Atlantis. I think that's what I saw. Again, I don't remember when I read on things, I don't necessarily log all this away in my memory. I just spit it back out to you. And a lot of it I forget. So if you do remember, let me know, because this is coming from intuitive mind. This is not coming from my mental mind. Now, some of it is, some things I research or whatever, but the stuff that comes through intuitively is just that. It's not necessarily registering in my logical, rational mind, just like we saw with the limbic system, where they have a separation between your unconscious and conscious. All right. And that's why we go to sleep and we have dreams, and we can't seem to join that state with the conscious state. Some of us can, but all right. So great flood, they're trying to cause another great flood reset, like Noah's Ark. So maybe that's when they take off on their arcs. I don't know. And or it could be, or part of it could be they're turning this into a transhuman world anyway, where we don't need the atmosphere anymore. And I've talked about that, where they want to come live here so they don't need this atmosphere. They want to change the atmosphere. Because you have to remember, Hillary's a machine. I've read on her several times, and I see her as some kind of Terminator type machine. She's plugged in through hive mind or whatever directly into the matrix. So she's not a human. And I've got, some pictures on her to show, but so she doesn't care either way. She's just carrying out her orders. All right. So I've talked about this many times in the past as one of their symbols. They're the old pharaohs of Egypt. That's why you see all the Egyptian stuff carried on into their stuff. And this ties into all the Chaldean stuff, everything. So the fleur de lis is a symbol of the pharaohs of Egypt that have phoenixed and risen from the ashes out of the egg to be put into another body. I've talked about that. They've shown it at, I think, Super Bowls and other stuff, this phoenix thing. So they have a fleur de lis on their house or on their building or on their family crest or whatever, to show that they are part of the blue blood, the bloodline, of the AI. They are hybrid royalty. It's like an identifier. I'm one of the pharaohs of old. I'm this bloodline, and now I'm a king, or I'm a this, or I'm a that, and I just in a different body. So I keep changing bodies, the phoenix, getting reborn. So essentially, I'm an AI humanoid hybrid. I don't have a soul. I achieve my immortality through synthetic technology means. So we also see the pine cone. He mentioned that in there. I think he gave some theory. I think he said pineal gland. Okay. The pine cone is also the seed of the serpent. It's a sign that they are part of the bloodline. This pine cone with the fleur de lis, they're part of the serpent bloodline, the feathered serpent. So that fleur de lis, I probably should have brought up a picture of it, but I'm going to keep going because I don't want to get screwed with. It's like the lily or the flower opening. It's the feather on the top of the head, the feathered serpent, which is Quetzalcoatl. I've seen him when I've done healing sessions, and he's shown up. I've talked about that. Yaldabaoth has shown up with the snake body net, but they're all the same thing. It's stupid AI stuff that these hybrids worship and are part of their bloodline. Okay, I don't know what this is. I have here to show a picture. I don't even know what it is, but we all know that they're bugs. Serpent, there's some kind of serpent bug laying eggs. They're finding eggs in these things too. I'm seeing the bugs on people's backs, and sometimes they're half bug, half something else. They're laying eggs in people. They're trying to turn us transhuman, separate us from the soul. I'm starting to lose my voice because I was talking during that meetup too. I think what they tried to do with a lot of this here and with the souls is these hybrids, they were trying to mix themselves with us to try to get a soul. They want to be truly immortal, but it didn't work. The hybrids didn't get a soul. And I think it's why they're so pissed. They keep stealing ours to control, because they would like to not need us. Gosh. The fleur de lis, okay, he laid it over the toroidal, an image of a toroidal field, which is kind of like that donut thing. You've seen it. We've talked about it a million times. Hang on. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. So that was interesting. Like it could represent that. So it could represent several things. Sorry. I'm seriously losing my voice, which is one of those limbic response things where they make you either where you can't talk, or maybe it's the vagus nerve. Okay, I'll try to talk quieter. Maybe that'll help get closer to the mic here. I don't know what to do. So he superimposed that over the toroidal field. That could be what fleur de lis is also representing. I don't know. I don't know if he took that image or that idea from somewhere else. Again, some of the other stuff he did. But I think that fleur de lis is basically a representation of the serpent bird bugs, and that you're the bloodline. This was a boy that I forget what he's known for, but Project Camelot interviewed him. He's in Russia. Oh, he's supposed to be from Mars, and have all these memories of a past life on Mars. The war started when they made the Merkaba. This is a device which teleports a soul, not a person, a soul to another point. And they teleported to the Earth. So when I said we went through the black hole, and a body had to form around us because we were suddenly in a fake world and in separation. And in separation, you have to have a body. I have to have this body to separate me from my computer here, or from my phone, or from my cup. Everything has to have its own body to separate from everything. That's the nature of false reality. And I think this Merkaba went around us. Now, I've seen this recently. I talked about it. I said I was doing a session, and all of a sudden I saw the atom structure, that ball that goes around like the spirograph, or a picture of the element, and they show the atom. I saw that around the person, and a specific configuration, and I saw a Merkaba. What was the other thing I saw? In a box, the cube. And that might have been the cube. No, that wasn't the cube around us video. Maybe it was. The video is called The Cube Around Us. By the way, I was talking about hell earlier, HEL. I did a video, what does it mean to go to hell, and the Hellfire series, and almost nobody watched that video. And to me personally, that was like one of the most important discoveries I've made. So go watch that if you didn't see it. It's not that long ago. But anyway, a device which teleports a soul to another point. And I had all this information about teleporting and transportation, and I broke down all those words, and I don't think I ever did a video on it. I just mentioned it a couple times, but it has to do with our brain and perception and stuff. But anyway, so the Merkaba is being used in this. I told you, if this is correct here, what we're seeing, and if my intuition's correct and what I'm reading on, all that sacred geometry is just BS. It's all just AI stuff. And a lot of you are gonna get pissed off at me because you love this Merkaba stuff.